Yun ang aking pangako, no? Na dapat talaga we have to increase transparency and accountability in the way we do things.
Naipakita na natin kaya nating ipaglaban ng demokrasya. Naipakita na natin kaya nating bawiin ang inagaw na demokrasya. Ngayon, napatunayan natin kaya nating paganahin ang demokrasya para sa kabubuti ng ating mga mamamayan. Naabot natin ang lahat ng ating tinatamasa ngayon nang gumagalang sa proseso at sa batas at sa karapatan ng bawat tao.
One word, credible. No, yun ang aming holy grail for our 2016 elections.
Panatatapos ang investigasyon ng COMELEC sa nangyari umanong paggalaw na isang taga-Smartmatic sa transparency server noong gabi ng
Smartmatic na may nabago sa script ng isang computer program na nasa isang transparency server.
In my opinion, has breached our protocol. And for that, they should be liable to the people of the Philippines.
Tiwala ang Pangulo na hindi na makakabalik pa ang mga Marcos para pabunuan ang bansa.
Taas noong kong masasabi, tinupod ko ang lahat ng panata ko.
May 9, 2016. More than 44.9 million Filipinos trooped to the polling stations to cast their votes for the 16th presidential and vice presidential elections. The number represents about 81% of the total number of voters, surpassing the voter turnout in the 2010 presidential election. Meanwhile, overseas absentee voting increased by 300%. Davao City Mayor Rodrigo Duterte, in an overwhelming victory, won as the 16th President of the Philippines. Many viewed his win as a protest vote by Filipinos who are fed up with the outgoing Aquino administration's handling of national issues.
President Duterte got a lot of protest votes. What is protest votes? There were a lot of people who were very unhappy with the past administration. I believe that really the votes in favor of the candidate incoming was more an expression of the anger towards the previous administration. And that's why it's practically a landslide, no? Practically a landslide.
Duterte's electoral success is phenomenal because he is the first president from Mindanao, a region plagued by extreme poverty and numerous local conflicts. The tough-talking mayor introduced himself as a man of the masses, an ordinary politician from the province who was prepared to rid the country of crime and corruption in less than 6 months. Frustrated by the repeated failures of the Liberal Party candidates, an overwhelming number of voters gave their support to the fearless leader from Davao. He defeated 4 other prominent and resource-rich candidates, led by Aquino-endorsed Manuel Mar Araneta Rojas II of the Liberal Party, independent candidate Senator Grace Poe, Vice President Jejomar Binay, and the late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago.
For the longest time, social media has been reflecting that the incumbent President Digong Duterte has been leading by large margin, but the mainstream media has been downplaying it. And from whatever poll service that come out, it showed that the other number 2 candidate was Grace Poe, and number 3 would be another candidate, but the administration candidate would rank number 4. But during the election, he was number 2 all the time. However, they could not overcome the sheer number that voted for this president. It's not just a landslide victory; it could have been a tsunami type of victory, where it's all over the countryside that people was an overwhelming support for this candidate, and that's why he won.
As Smartmatic's role in the 2010 and 2013 elections came increasingly under fire, the Venezuelan company took a much more aggressive role in securing the contract for the 2016 election. Smartmatic chairman Lord Mark Malloch Brown, an international political operator who had been associated with former President Corazon Aquino's campaign in 1986, flew to Manila in May 2015. palace sources claim that during his visit, Lord Mark Malloch Brown had an extended lunch meeting in Malacanang with then-President Benigno S. Aquino III. Malloch Brown's reappearance in Malacanang in 2015 had sealed the deal. Smartmatic was once again awarded the multi-billion contract to lead the automated election of 2016. More than 9 billion pesos worth of contracts were awarded by the COMELEC to the Venezuelan firm, notorious for various cases of electoral fraud and sabotage around the world. COMELEC's awarding of Smartmatic as the exclusive poll operator for the 2016 national election triggered a plethora of negative reactions from various election watchdogs. Given Smartmatic's handling of the 2010 and 2013 elections, was it possible that there were plans to rig the 2016 election in favor of the Liberal Party candidates? Philippine Computer Society President Leo Querubin explains.
My personal take on that is that there was a concerted effort to make sure that he did not get majority vote. So what he got only was the plurality. And if you want to change the landscape of the country after the elections, having majority and just having the most number of garnered votes among your candidates actually can affect the strategy of the losing candidates. Why? Because you can always tell now, anybody can always say Duterte did not get more votes because there were more people that voted against him than for him. But if he got the majority votes, then he has now the mandate actually to lead the country without any question. But right now, if you notice, the question that is always being thrown at him is that your votes actually are lesser than all that vote that were garnered by the other candidates. So he is not a majority leader. But him becoming a majority leader actually changes the landscape of the way he can actually lead. So I think there is actually congruence in terms of the cheating, both for the presidential election and the vice presidential elections.
Trinabaho din siya eh. Kaya lang, hindi na-carry ng powers eh. I think the fraud that happened in the last election is not just on computers. There are also things done on the ground, in the ballot itself. That there were allegations made about reshading of ballots, and having zero votes in areas that you expect some people to vote for other candidates. So ginawa ito, ang nag-guide sa kanila kung how much to catch up yung pagmamanipulate doon sa release. Kaya naging straight yung line. Kasi hindi na random yung pagbato. Dahil meron na sumasala na fourth server.
May 9, 2016 at 7:30 p.m. While the counting was in progress, a Venezuelan technician from Smartmatic inserted a new script or command in the computer program of the transparency server without authorization from COMELEC. When confronted, the Venezuelan admitted that the order to introduce a new script came from Marlon Garcia, project director of Smartmatic. Moments after the transparency breach was instigated by Marlon Garcia at 7:30 p.m. on May 9, 2016, a clogging in the system took place, and the more than 1 million lead of Vice Presidential frontrunner Bongbong Marcos over Liberal Party candidate Leni Robredo started to dwindle in a modus operandi never before seen in the history of Philippine elections. Soon after the closing of the May 9 polls, both presidential and vice presidential frontrunners Rodrigo Duterte and Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. topped the exit polls conducted by the social weather station. Duterte eclipsed the other candidates with 39.6%, while Marcos led by 34.9%. Other exit polls showed the exact same results. Duterte and Marcos have won the 2016 presidential and vice presidential election in the Philippines. And yet, after the breach by Marlon Garcia took place, a surge of votes appeared to have been programmed in favor of Liberal Party candidate Leni Robredo, as explained by a statistics and political analyst. Antonio Contreras, political science professor at De La Salle University, said it was statistically impossible for Robredo to overtake Marcos in the race with 80% of the returns already counted.
Well, actually, during the night of the counting, before I slept, I was already finding something weird. Kasi siyempre, I was making my own projections. Using data trending, I said. And then I was noticing that the lead of Senator Marcos before midnight, before I slept, was kind of becoming smaller and smaller. And I said, what's happening? But I was hoping that, in the morning, it's going to stabilize and his lead will stabilize. But lo and behold, when I woke up, si Leni Robredo na ang nauna. Sabi ko, ano nangyari? And then David Yap sent me a message about a trend that for him is anomalous. And so, I asked David to send me his analysis. Okay, and the rest is history.
Marcos had been leading the count and had already won all exit polls on May 9, until his numbers were completely reversed in the early hours of May 10.
I got into the automated election issue when I was observing the 2016 election results coming in. We saw a kink right after some point past midnight, and then a gradual shifting towards Leni Robredo of the lead. The only way that this could happen would be if the results were queued. And later on, we find out that there was indeed a secret undisclosed server, which, of course, explains why the votes proceeded in such a manner. So the question then becomes, why then was there an undisclosed server? Why then were the votes being queued? And why were the Filipino people told that we have this election system, and come election day, they got an entirely different election system?
At first, the COMELEC denied that Marlon Garcia was anywhere near the servers. And then, the inevitable happened. A video taken inside the PPCRV was leaked online. The footage showed several Filipino system engineers confronting and questioning the Venezuelan technician who illegally inserted a new command or script to the program. As the online expose went viral, COMELEC chairman Andres Bautista had no choice but to hold a press conference. Bautista wanted desperately to come up with an alternative explanation to help Marlon Garcia and Smartmatic from being charged with electoral sabotage. In a press conference held on May 13, 2016, Marlon Garcia, aided by COMELEC chairman Andres Bautista, maintained that the tweaking of the transparency server script was just a minor cosmetic change, and that this alteration did not require the permission of the COMELEC. He further explained that the tweak altered the program's hash code, but not the poll results. Garcia later contradicted his first statement by claiming that the change could only be done after the COMELEC and Smartmatic officials input their individual passwords, implying consent from both agencies. Garcia's claim was later denied by COMELEC Commissioner Rowena Guanzon.
Smartmatic, in my opinion, has breached our protocol.
So, did the so-called cosmetic change made by Smartmatic project director Marlon Garcia trigger the sudden increase of votes for Liberal Party Vice Presidential candidate Leni Robredo in the wee hours of May 10, 2016?
The observation is that the data shows there is a very nice line, a straight line, which for me, in my own honest analysis, should not happen if the votes are randomly thrown by servers all over the country. Kasi kung electronic siya, kung automated ang elections, di ang daming mga presinto. Di ba nagbabato yan ng resulta? Hindi naman walang pattern naman yan, di ba? Hindi naman sinasabing kauna naman Region 1, Region 2, kung saan siya niya dating. Sabi ko, hindi pwede maging ganito. Kasi random yung pagbalik ng pagtatapon ng numbers eh. But for me, in my own reading, there is something wrong. Na parang hindi na random yung bato ng mga boto.
David Yap, a statistician from the University of the Philippines, noticed that the linear progression of votes for Leni Robredo did not follow a random pattern.
What we saw was a gradual vote increase, then an abrupt vote decrease. Now, if we go with the reasoning behind the concept of Baluarte, if the votes from the north dried up and the votes from Bicol came in, then what we should have observed was a sudden and abrupt change in the manner in which the votes progressed. The explanation for what we observed was, in fact, the queuing of the results. The manner in which the votes proceeded would appear that they were gated behind, apparently, an undisclosed server.
During a hearing at the Manila Prosecutor's Office on July 21, 2016, the camp of Vice Presidential candidate Bongbong Marcos was surprised to learn directly from Smartmatic that it used several servers apart from those sanctioned by the COMELEC during the May 2016 elections.
So the question is, there is such a queue server.
There's a queue server.
And called queue server is part of the transmission services.
So there is.
Yes.
There is a system in the MIDME room. I believe that's what you're calling queue server. There is a system in the MIDME room.
Marlon Garcia, head of the technical support team of Venezuela's Smartmatic, admitted on record that aside from the servers sanctioned by the COMELEC in the transmission of votes under the Automated Election System, or AES, there also existed several other servers in place. The truth would soon be revealed. A queue server had been kept under wraps by both the COMELEC and Smartmatic. Instead of the votes being transmitted directly to the Municipal Board of Canvassing server, the COMELEC server, and the Transparency server as required by law, the results were first coursed through a queue server, one that is not sanctioned by the law. The existence of a queue server was a clear violation of the Election Automation Law RA 9369 because it was never subjected to a source code review as mandated by Section 15. Garcia also admitted the existence of a secret room where other servers were located.
So far, Smartmatic has finally admitted that there is such a server. But the problem is, nobody knows where it is. Who controls it? Obviously, Smartmatic does because they know about it. And that is what we should be watching, where we should be watching. So hopefully in the next election, that will be made clear exactly as to where it is located and that we will have access to see what is happening.
The admission of the existence of several other servers in the AES validated all the earlier contention that indeed Smartmatic was not forthright about the details of the system it employed during the elections of 2010, 2013, and 2016. Simply stated, the election results, which were broadcast to the public, did not come directly from the three servers as sanctioned by the law. Instead, the results were first transmitted to a queue server where they were consolidated and processed, and it was this Q server that sent the final data to the COMELEC. This admission has put the integrity not just of the May 2016 polls, but all the other elections managed by Smartmatic under a cloud of doubt.
Smartmatic is a very good company when it comes to all of this, to marketing and to manipulations and all that. But at the end of the day, I think it's the Filipinos that are actually suffering because, number one, there is always that kind of doubt that comes after the elections. After the election, there shouldn't be any doubt. In fact, I keep on saying that in the latest elections in 2016, if there is one person who should really be pissed off, and pardon my French, should really be pissed off with Smartmatic, it should be the Vice President. Because of what Smartmatic did, there is now always an asterisk beside her name. Because there's now doubt whether she really won the elections or not. If she really believes that majority of the Filipinos voted for her or that she garnered more votes than the next contender, Bongbong Marcos, then she should be the first in line to say, let's do a recount. She should be the first in line to say, let's count all of this, let's open all the ballots and let's count it, and let's make sure that it was the will of the people was truly reflected in the votes. But with the kind of delay tactics that she's doing, then I'm a little bit worried about her intentions.
It is horrible in a sense that an election must truly reflect the wills of the people. We tried automating it. Fine. The speed is there. Perhaps the efficiency. But we did not take care of the fact that it should be credible. A credible election is not just a function of speed. It's not just a function of efficiency. Because you can also make cheating and fraud fast and efficient. So ang nakita ko dito, parang mas nag-shift lang yung mga mandadaya eh. Nag-automate tayo, so pati yung pandadaya, ginawa ding automated at mabilis at efficient. Yun ang tingin ko doon. At yung eleksyon, hindi yun na safeguard. Dahil mismo din kagagawa ng COMELEC. For example, yung pinabayaan nila na pwedeng makialam kahit sino. Diba? Diba yun ang justification nila? Meron naman daw authority na yung taga Smartmatic. So you compromise the whole system. And then bakit may fourth server? Wala naman yan, di ba? Dapat. Hindi pa yan ipapaliwanag hanggang sa ngayon. Tsaka yung mga sinistrip nila yung mga laman ng mga computers, di ba? Na dapat di ba pangalagaan mo pa nga yung security niyan dahil mayroong protesta. Yung mga nagibang ang bobo ngayon ng warehouse nila sa Santa Rosa, makes you ask, ano nangyayari? So, lumalabas na credible pa ba yung resulta?
As COMELEC made it appear, the counting and canvassing of the election results would basically be an automated process, free from human intervention and presumably safe from manipulation. The election protests and server discrepancies during the May 2016 polls clearly proved that this was not the case. Contrary to the poll body's representations, Smartmatic's automated election system was riddled with serious vulnerabilities, exposing the entire system to shenanigans.
I have always believed, and I will always try to live by this motto: the power to change our destiny lies in our own hands. If you choose rightly, you will reap the benefits of a good choice. If you choose wrongly, you will suffer for your wrong choice. And we get to exercise that choice only every 3 years sa election. Pero kung ang ating election system is rigged, our election system is tampered, that choice doesn't matter. We all suffer. Kaya ang panawagan ko po sa taong bayan, magkaisa ho tayo sa isyung ito. Ipaglaban po natin hanggang makamit natin ang totoong malinis na halalan.
The 2016 national elections may be over, but the controversies surrounding the 2010, 2013, and 2016 automated polls are clearly not. If these serious allegations are not explained and resolved by the COMELEC, now headed by Chairman Andres Bautista, before the 2019 midterm elections, various experts and election watchdogs believe that the Smartmatic automated election system should be permanently junked and replaced with a foolproof, transparent, and easily verifiable technology from other legitimate automated election system providers.
So, moving forward, I think there should be a thorough review of the contract between Smartmatic and COMELEC by a third party. Maybe this could be done by the Philippine Association of Lawyers or the Integrated Bar of the Philippines. No? So they can review the contract and then what are the violations? And then let the contracting parties pay if ever there's any deficiency.
I have always stated that I have great questions on how things are done. I have discussed with Smartmatic directly. I have engaged with him, in Congress and in Senate, debated with them, yet they refuse to listen. They refuse to actually improve the processes. They refuse to put in more security. So with that, I think that we really should change the vendor and find one that will stick to what is best for the election system in the Philippines.
It's no injustice to whoever's the winner. If it is Senator Marcos, it's an injustice because every day delayed means that he is not sitting in a position that is rightfully elected. It's also doing injustice to Vice President Robredo because any day delayed, lagi pa rin patuloy na yung kanyang legitimacy na question. Kung siya ba talaga ang nanalo. Yun ang basis kung bakit hindi siya popular ngayon . Kasi people continue to doubt. So that's why I could not understand why Mrs. Robredo is opposing the recount. So ganun lang. And it is doing injustice to all of us, all of the Filipinos. Because our votes were not counted properly. It's not fair.
I'll be very candid and frank with you. Whenever you mention Smartmatic to me, sorry, I cannot believe it as a machine that is credible and dependable. But if they can be used for good things, they can be also used for evil purposes. Parang bang two-bladed knives. And my experience was bad in the sense that it was used to perpetuate something wrong, to confirm something evil, to sell something false. Medyo nakakasira ng kalooban at saka nakakagalit. Call me narrow-minded, call me deaf, dumb, and blind. I'm sorry, but Smartmatic is not acceptable.
Ang lahat ng mahalaga kailangan pagsikapan. Kailangan ipaglaban. Sabi nga po ng manunulat na si Edmund Burke, all it takes for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. May we never lose our patience with the ways of democracy, and may we never take it for granted or be passive in its defense.